Hello, you wonderful people. So as you know, E3 is currently going on, and just one of the things that popped up the other day that I really wanted to talk about because I was kind of super excited about it was the fact is that a DMC trailer got dropped at the Xbox's E3 press conference. Which, if you don't know anything about me, like, I am a huge DMC fan. I've played all of the games, even the one that most people don't like, DMC Devil May Cry, like the most recent one. I've beaten most of them. The only one I never beat was 3, and I've never played the definitive edition of 3 or 4, but I've played all the games, and I'm a huge fan of it. If you've never played the Devil May Cry series, you should. I don't know what would be the proper like way to label those games, because for the longest time growing up I would have just referred to them as hack and slashes, but I guess that's not really the appropriate term. Character action game, I don't know, they're cool games where you slash and shoot shit and do like big combos and you fight demons. Pretty cool stuff. So I'm really excited because the trailer shows that we are getting Nero back, which I kind of didn't know if we were ever going to get that back. I was just kind of like, oh, is Nero just going to be like a one-off character or something like that? I mean, you went through the trouble of making this character. I'm kind of hoping you're going to use more, but then like after DMC 4 came DMC, you know, Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry, so I'm like, oh, maybe that's never going to come back. I don't know. Which, once again, a lot of people didn't like that. It's one of those things I hear, like, some people like it gameplay-wise, at least later on, and they care for the canon and the story, but they like the just gameplay mechanics altogether. It is kind of a little weird to see Nero back with short hair like that. It catches you off guard for a little bit, but I guess it's kind of just his way of kind of distinguishing himself from Dante or Virgil. I mean, it's kind of like in DMC 3 when like Virgil and Dante first like fight and will at least meet up together. Like, at first Virgil's hair is down, but then he slicks it up and then you kind of distinguish between him and Dante. So maybe that's what they're kind of going for. I don't know, maybe not at all. But I was super excited once I was like, is that supposed to be Nero? And then I heard Johnny Young Bosch and I'm like, okay, it's definitely Nero. Especially when he started revving up Red Queen. Isn't his pistol named Blue Rose? It's been a while since I played DMC 4. It's actually been a while since I played in the Devil May Cry games, but nevertheless, I like the aesthetic of it because it's kind of interesting because like all of DMC 4 took place on that city island, so it's kind of weird seeing him off of, but obviously his story would be off that island. Like, I'm really curious to see where his story takes us. I mean, I'm curious will we get any background on, because I feel like we don't really know that much about Nero. We know a little here and there. Even then, we don't even know the full story of how he got his demon arm, which apparently he's already lost now because some asshole cuts off his arm and now he has a mechanical arm, which someone had pointed out, like, oh, the fact is that he has that means that you'll probably be kind of doing like a style change similar to Dante's whole thing, but different arms potentially, which I didn't even think about it. I was like, well, yeah, you do give him a mechanical arm, because if you weren't going to do something like that, why not just let him keep his demon arm? Which, if you don't know anything about me either, like, I love like arm crap in like anime and just Japanese storytelling. Like the best example is like if you've heard of the anime or manga D. Grayman, kind of like Alan, stuff like that. I just think is the coolest. Atsuma from Enchanted Arms, like when people have like this like demonic arm or just some like huge powerful arm thing that they can summon up, I always think that's the coolest. So that's why like I was immediately in love with Nero in DMC 4 when he showed off his demon arm thing, especially like what he does with it as the game progresses and just how it like manifests itself. It's just the coolest thing. The crazy thing is, I'm thinking about too, is like, what's his devil trigger going to be like, considering the fact is he doesn't have Yamato anymore. Yamato was the reason why he was able to use the devil trigger, but you know, if I'm remembering correctly, he gave it back to Dante at the end of 4, so how's that going to play out? Is his devil trigger going to manifest itself in some other way? I mean, he is part demon, but the only like side of him that ever manifested fully as a demon was his arm. I wonder, will that be something you eventually get back? Because we do hear him saying at one point in the trailer like, Kyrie, get back. So wherever he is, obviously she's with him. Which is also another thing I want to note on too, is the fact is that he actually seems to have a partner in this game. That the lady who makes his arm, like the mechanic, like I think that's so interesting, because in DMC 4 he's just kind of always on his own. Like even Dante's on his own, but he has partners throughout the games. Like obviously in 1 it's Trish, she's kind of leading you on that whole situation. 2, was it Lucia? Is that her name? 3, he had Lady, and 4, he has Lady and Trish kind of as partners. But it's just kind of interesting seeing, also, like I said, just the cityscape itself too. It's just kind of an interesting change. Like I said, to me, it kind of reminds me aesthetically of DMC Devil May Cry, the Ninja Theory one, like the city aesthetic, but maybe that's just me. So I'm very excited to see like what happens with all of this. Obviously we saw at the end Dante's there, and really quickly, like, people have commented on it, and I will agree that is an amazing like logo, like at the very end where it's got his back turned and then like the V is kind of shaped like wings on his back. Like, that is a sick design. But getting back to what I was just saying, Dante is in it. I'm curious to see what they do with it. Will they do kind of similarly what they did to DMC4, where it's like half the game is Nero and half the game is Dante? I wonder will they kind of keep what they did with DMC4. I kind of hope they don't, where it's like basically you retread backwards everything Nero did, but you do it as Dante, and you kind of refight the same bosses. I hope they don't do that. Maybe they still will. Either way, I'm very curious to see like everything about this game and see how wild and crazy it gets. Even in that short trailer, it says a lot about what's going to go down. Well, not a lot storyline wise, but just kind of like the craziness you can kind of expect from just the DMC series in general. So I'm very excited. My question to you is, like, you know, if you're a huge DMC fan, and even if you're not, let me know your thoughts about this. Are you excited? I mean, I feel like most people are super excited. I don't know. I haven't heard everyone's opinions, but from opinions I've heard here and there, it seems like everyone's kind of excited. I'd love to get to know your thoughts in the comments down below. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this video. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.